Hi there, Anaí, the self-worth coach, is back, and I'm with part 2 of this two-part series where we talk a little bit about over-functioning and under-functioning in relationships and how do we stop that.
Welcome to the Boss Ladies Mindset channel, powered by Crown for Success, the largest women's empowerment network for soulful CEOs on social media. We are a coaching business that mentors and motivates women to reach their highest potential in business and mindset mastery. Each one of our episodes will share valuable tips, resources, interviews, and empowering information that will help boss ladies design a life and business they're crazy as fuck about.
And before I start, I want to remind you that this is another video that is part of the Boss Lady Mindset and the Crown for Success team that is always putting together amazing pieces of content to help you and other amazing women like you to get into their dream careers on their own terms. And one of the amazing things that Crown for Success offered is a training that allows you to start a business for your dream and for yourself on your own terms without having to sacrifice your family life, your social life, and even now when everything is so messy and complicated and we're trying to scramble around to find new ways of becoming abundant and wealthy, Crown for Success has very, very different programs and opportunities for you to grow, learn, and start your business and become independent and really, really live the life that you dream of on your own terms and without having to sacrifice anything. This is a beautiful sisterhood of women all around the world, and we come together to support one another and to really build a career that we can be proud and happy with. So, without further ado, let me give you part 2 of my over-functioning and under-functioning series. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I see it a lot with clients and with friends, and when I'm coaching women who I love coaching. I love coaching overachieving women on their journeys to creating the best life. When we talk about relationships, there's always this part that is limping. And this is why I started talking a lot about over-functioning and under-functioning, because these are tendencies that we have very subconsciously, but that can be creating a negative and a toxic environment in our primary relationships. Now, before I go deeper into the tips and the ideas, I want you to know that this is something that we do very normally and very naturally, and there's nothing wrong with us when we do that. The important thing is to understand and to start catching where are we over-functioning, where are we under-functioning, so that we can start shifting the way we behave and we show up in our relationships so that we can really feel happier and much more supported. The reality is that we all have areas where we do one and we all have areas when we do the other. And that is okay, and that's going to be a tendency that we're going to have. However, when there's no self-awareness, resentment and regret can start piling up, and we are not going to be able to move upwards, that beautiful spiral of growth that we are all climbing as we are becoming self-actualized, which is ultimately the goal of every single human in the planet. So, last time we talked about what is over-functioning, what is under-functioning, and what happened in the relationship when one partner is doing one and the other partner is doing the other. Now today I want to talk about a script that you can use to start shifting those tendencies and to start creating a better and healthier environment in your beautiful relationships, because we all want to live in a happily ever after, right? So, you recognize the areas that you're over-functioning. You sat down, you made a list, and you wrote down every single area that you are over-functioning. And then you did the same about the areas that you're under-functioning. And then you sat down with yourself and you were like, wow, I never knew this was happening. And you decide to make things differently. So let's say that one of the areas that you discover that you're over-functioning is the social part, and that is very obvious in your primary relationship, right? In your relationship with your romantic partner. So you go to him or her, and then you say, okay, first of all, we always do a check-in. Hey, so-and-so, I want to talk to you about something that's a little bit heavy. Are you available right now? And the reason why we want to check in is because we want to make sure that the person is not hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And the acronym for that is HALT. So whenever somebody is experiencing one of those 4, halt. Do not continue with the conversation, because it's gonna be unproductive and you're just gonna be fighting with each other in no time. So once you have check-in with them and they say, yeah, I'm fine, let's talk. And by the way, side note, I always tell my clients, if you ask for time and space to have a conversation and the person tells you that they're not available in that moment, you give them 24 hours. Why only 24 hours? Because we don't want to use this to delay conversations that are really important. Every conversation that you're scared of having is a conversation that you need to have. So it's good that you give each other space and time to process, but it's also very good that you go, okay, fine, I'll give you the time, but do know that I'm waiting for you to have this conversation with me. Because otherwise it's very, very easy for us to be like, oh yeah, we'll talk about that later, and later never comes. So you went to your partner, you check in with him or her, and you were like, okay, so I really want to have this conversation, are you available now? And they tell you that they are available. And you sit together, and then you always want to make it about you and your own growth and how this self-awareness is going to be positively impacting the relationship. So instead of saying something like, so I now know and I can see that you are a lazy ass bum bum and I really don't want to keep on doing this, you go with something like, hey, so I have been doing a lot of soul searching and a lot of inner work, and I have discovered that there are some areas where I have been over functioning in our relationship, and I really would like to change that. The reason why I want to change that is because I discovered that this behavior has been disabling you from showing up fully in our relationship and for yourself in these areas. And the areas are ABC. And now my invitation to you is to see if there has been something from my side that has disabled you and that has created a situation where you feel that you cannot show up fully in this area. And if that's so, I want you to hold me accountable to change my behavior, because I believe in you and I want you to become your best self. And in that process, I want to do the same. So from now on, my commitment to you is that I'm going to stop my over-functioning behavior. I'm also going to be checking in with myself to make sure that whatever I commit to and whatever I do in this relationship is from a place of abundance and love. And also, I really want you to hold me accountable and not to go back to my old tendencies. I believe that this is really important, because otherwise what I see happening is, and then you can offer some consequences. Now, you can hear that at no point did I go, I've been over-functioning in the kitchen because you are such a lazy ass person. You never do anything and you don't care that I'm tired, blah, blah, blah. No, I kept it about me, because the reality is every over-functioner has an under-functioner next to them. Now, let's say that the conversation is the other way around and I discover that I have been under-functioning. The conversation will be something like this. Always start with a check-in. Hey, so-and-so, I just wanted to check in with you because there's something heavy or there's something big or there's something interesting that I would like to talk to you about. Let me know when you're available. When the person is available, you sit with them and you can start with something like, hey, so I've been doing a lot of inner work and I have discovered that I have been under-functioning in our relationship in these areas. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I can imagine that my tendency not to get engaged into this area has created you to over-engage with them, so that you have been picking up my slack and I haven't even noticed. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel that has not been fair to you, because you have a rich life and you are busy and you have all your interests, but also it hasn't been fair to me because it hasn't allowed me the push that I needed to grow in that area. So from now on, my commitment to you is that I'm going to start picking up my slack and doing more around this area, and I want to start growing in it. So I want you to hold me accountable, that whenever I disengage or whenever I decide that I cannot do it, that you're going to remind me that I can, and so that I will be able to start showing up fully in our relationship and in life. And I want to do that because otherwise I see this relationship and then you talk about consequences. Now, in an ideal world, you and your partner are going to be talking about this in a non-reactive way. You're going to be mirroring each other, and each of you is going to be holding your own story. Why do I say in an ideal world? Because a lot of the time when we have these big conversations, we tend to be very reactive. So this is why it's so important that you open up by saying what you see is your behavior, how you see that you have been co-creating this reality in your relationship, and what do you think that is going to be your space for growth. This way you can inspire your partner to do the same without putting them on the spot or demanding more work from them. So the whole conversation shifts, because there's suddenly you're not pointing fingers, but you're saying, I discovered this, and I think that I deserve better, and then you deserve better, and our relationship deserves better. So this way you can stop over-functioning or under-functioning, and you can start really showing up in your relationship from a place of authenticity and wholeness, without holding each other to these silly little battles where I do this and then you have to do that, and this tit for tat that ends up bringing so much toxicity to the relational world. I really hope that this helped you. And if you are in a relationship and you recognize that your under-functioning or your over-functioning are hindering your progress, or if you are not in a relationship but you recognize that these tendencies have been making you fail in your pursuit of your goals and dreams, send me a message. You can go to the link below and book a free 30-minute conversation that will for sure transform your life. And you can also follow me on social media at anai.theselfworthcoach, or you can go to theselfworthcoach.online and get more information about my packages, my offerings, and everything I can do to help you create that beautiful life that you want and deserve. This is Anai, the Self-Worth Coach, and I cannot wait to see you in another Boss Lady Mindset video series where we're going to be talking about some other great tools and themes to support you into your best life.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Boss Ladies Mindset channel powered by Crown for Success. Please tune in next week for another episode, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at RVP Queens, at The Girl Gang Confidential, at Crown for Success, at Strong Women Are Beautiful, and of course at Boss Ladies Mindset.